Hello there, welcome everybody. It's Don here once more, and we've got another little trick for you to have a go at making for yourself. It's fairly easy. I wouldn't say it's extremely easy. It gets a little bit complicated, but I'm sure most of you could have a go at making something like this. So we've got a mobile phone, just an ordinary phone there, and that sits in the slot in there, a bit tight. Okay, so we've got a telephone sticking through my box like that. Then we get a knife, stick that in the end like so, and push that in, and if we push it a little bit further we can push right through the other side. So there we are, knife going right through the middle of the phone, and pull it out, and there we are. That's the trick, that's the illusion. The next part of the video will be exactly all the measurements you need and all the materials and everything that you will need to make your own version. Okay, so please, before I continue, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, and you'll be informed when I put new videos up, which I hope are at least one or two a week. So we'll get on with the video then, and here we go. So the first thing we need is a mobile phone. It doesn't matter if it's anyone else's or your own, you're not going to harm it. It's not going to be harmed in any way. And most mobile phones seem to be 3 inches wide, or 75 millimeters. If you've got a wider or smaller phone, then obviously the measurements will need to change accordingly. But we'll assume that you have a mobile phone that's 3 inches wide. Okay. So first thing you need is some 2mm card. This is what I always use, well, mostly use for my things that I make. So 2mm card, and we need 2 pieces, and they need to be, I've got the sizes here somewhere. Yeah, 8 inches by 4.5 inches. So 8 inches that way, 4.5 that way. 20 centimeters that way, and 11.5 that way, and we need 2 pieces that size. Okay, on both pieces we need the cutout for the telephone, and it needs to be quite a tight fit. You don't want it to drop through easily, otherwise you'll drop your phone, and you don't want that to happen. So you measure the width. The width is going to be different on most phones because of the covers. It may have a cover on it, but mine hasn't, and it's only 5/16 wide. So whatever phone you're going to use, measure the width, and then measure 3.5 inches from the end. So from the end to there, draw a line, then the width of your telephone, and another line there. Okay, and then measure find the center, and then 1.5 inches either side of the center is going to give you 3 inches or 75 millimeters, and that's where you need to cut to, like that. Okay, so we need 2 slots, both in the same position on both pieces of card. Slot there, so that this is quite a tight fit when it goes through both slots. Okay, then when you've done that, you need another piece of card, and the size is 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. So 3 3/4 that way, 6 3/4 that way, or 9.5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And the idea of this piece of card is that it's going to run like that. It's going to move like that between two like railway lines, if you like. So when you've got the card in the middle like that, and you put a piece like that and a piece like that, it's going to move quite easily like that. Okay, we'll cut out the shape that we need later, but for the time being, this is what we want, this piece of card to move freely like that. Okay, and these rails, you need to measure 1/4 inch from the end and then start the rail on that line there like that, and the same this side, so it'll be like that. Okay, so I'll go away and cut my slots, put my railway lines on, and hopefully this will slide up and down. So I'll be back in one moment and we'll do the next bit. So we've got our slots cut in the two larger pieces of card like that, so that the telephone will it doesn't want to fall straight through, but a nice tight fit like that. Okay, and we can discard one for the moment, and with the other one, you remember we put these two rails down the side so that the smaller piece will slide between the two rails like that. Okay, and the width of the knife that we're going to push through, I've made about 1 1/8". Doesn't need to be that accurate, but around about that, so something like 27, 28 millimeters wide, and then put these pieces either side, so that when that goes on the top like that, all you'll be able to do is just put the blade through that slot and the other end will come out there. Okay, so those in, and then a piece 3/8 of an inch wide just above the slot like that, so that when we put this in, decide how long you want this piece to be. Doesn't really matter, but leave a bit of a chunk here. So I think that's about 2 1/4, maybe 2.5 inches. So when the blade is pushed out, it's going to hit that shoulder, because we're going to cut these pieces out. So 2.5 inches back, and then cut those pieces out. So this shoulder will hit these pieces here. Then mark out a line just below the slot there. So when we cut this square out, when we move it backwards and forwards, it's not going to interfere with our slot, if you know what I mean. When I cut this out, you'll see more what I mean. Now then, the bottom part. So we're going to cut those 3 pieces out, that bit, and this square. Okay, now this bit here, we're going to need a magnet. Well, we're going to need 2 magnets. I don't know how easily available magnets are where you are. For some reason, I live in Thailand, and for some reason they are extremely plentiful and extremely inexpensive. I've just ordered 50 of these for just over £1, a couple of dollars, very inexpensive. And if you turn them opposite poles, they will stick together like that. So one will go on the end of the knife when I make it, and the other one, if you draw a circle around it, and then from that point to the end there is going to be the point of our knife. That's going to be the shape of the end of the knife. I'll explain more when we get on to making the knife, but that circle is going to be drilled out the same diameter as this, so that will slot in there, and it's that shape so that it won't come out. It will stay in that position. Okay, so that's what I've got to do. Cut that shape out, and because we now know what the shape of the end of the knife is, we can recreate on the end there, and then cut these pieces out. So I'll go ahead, do all that, come back, and that will be the finish of that. And then all I need to do is make the knife. Okay, so I've cut my bits out, and that's the shape that we need. We've got the shape now of the end of the knife and for the magnet to sit into. So when I put this on here in this position, it won't come back any more than that, and then when it pushes up, it doesn't interfere with the slot like that. So that's up against the shoulder there, and we've still got the camera sticking through the slot. So that's what we need. That's the mechanics then of the trick. Okay, so now we need a knife. Well, with the blade fully extended, we're going to need a knife that is that length. The hilt of the handle is going to be that length. All right, but when we come back in, we can't come right back here. We can't come right back here. We're going to have to shorten the length of the knife in some way. So with the handle, we've got 1 1/8 wide blade, but at this end, so when you cut your original piece of card, make this 1/4 inch wider, so we've got a little shoulder either side. So when we put that into our handle like that, that will push down inside the handle. So when we're out there, if I can do it, put the other side on, make it easier. That will be the knife. We're going to make it look a bit better than that. But when we push it up into this, we can make it shorter so that it's more convincing when that knife goes in. Are you with me still? Okay, so I've made the circle on the end there for the other magnet to sit into, but what we need to make it look a lot better than that, and obviously we can't have the magnet sitting on its own on the end there, so we need a piece of card, a piece of very thin card on the top, and we can make a nice sharp edge, nice sharp end to the knife there, and then we won't see the magnet in the end. Well, it won't be so obvious. So we need a piece this side and a piece this side, and that will make the knife look a lot better. I'll spray it silver, and the handle will be black like that, and I can make a radius on the handle, make it look even more realistic, like so. So then that's it. That's all you need to do. I'll probably paint this black as well to make it a bit easier. Now, what the problem is now, because we will have card on this side and this side, we're gonna, by the time we put this on top of the 2mm, where are we? On top of the 2mm card, it's going to be thicker than that, because we've got the 2 pieces of card either side. So we're going to have to lay pieces of card all the way around here, maybe even 2 or 3 pieces, just so that we've got the clearance of the card when the blade goes back into the handle, and also around here as well. Wherever we've put these bits, we're going to need strips of card, so that when we put I haven't put the other piece in, when we put the top piece on, it's not just going to squash everything down. There's going to be clearance for this still to move. Okay, so it's going to take 2 or 3 pieces. So a bit time consuming, but nevertheless, it's got to be done. So I'll do all that. I'll completely finish the whole thing off now and beautify it as best I can. I've cut a 45-degree cut on both sides of the this piece of card as well, to show that it's a sharp-edged knife, just to, again, to make it a little more realistic. And I shall do the same with this piece as well. So I'll make that look the same as that, because that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, I'll finish it off now, and we'll see what the end thing looks like. So finish the knife off, put the cardboard or the thin card on either side of the knife there, and just looking at the top or the bottom, you can't see or tell that there is a magnet on the end there, and the blade goes in and out of the handle like so. Okay, so that's that. I had to pack out the bottom part so that it was big enough for the magnet to fit into and slide in and out quite easily, and then stick the top on. So there we are, and you know what's inside. We've done all that. So I'll give it one more quick demonstration. That goes in there like so. Start off with the blade at the full length, and we can see that it's the right length for it to be, and then just and then it'll go through like that. I think that's a pretty good illusion. Of course, it's as I always say, it's up to you to make the show of it. All I can do is make the things. It's up to you to make a better show to your audience. Okay, so that comes out. Then you can estimate whereabouts that bottom of the card is there, and just ease a bit of pressure on there, and then you can pull the rest of the blade. Okay, I've tried to explain the best I can, so it's up to you then to make the trick work better. Well, I'll leave that in. Just a word on magnets. If they are a problem for you to get, and a lot of these magic tricks do include magnets, so they're always handy to have. These are a little bit big, to be quite honest, but I can get smaller ones. But if you just can't get hold of magnets for some reason, I don't know, maybe you can get them easily. I'm quite willing to send you a couple. The only problem is the postage and packing. I will happily give you the magnets, but I live in Thailand, so any postage of any kind that I send anywhere in the world costs quite a lot of money. So I don't know, a couple of pounds, $2 or $3, whatever. Let me know. We'll sort something out, and I'll send you a couple of magnets. Okay, so I'll leave it with you. Please have a go yourself. Try even to make a better job than me, which wouldn't be too difficult. And I'll see you in the next video with something new. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.